Welcome back, everyone, to this Monday evening edition of Weather on the Go. My name's Hunter. On this Monday evening, November the 17th, 2025, we're going to be looking at the polar vortex, breaking it down for you step by step, because I do feel that the polar vortex is unstable and will be unleashing the coldest air of the season across North America. Where exactly that colder air could go, the scenarios that could unfold, the winter storm track that we could see as we go into December, and if we could see a white Christmas across portions of the country. We're going to answer all of those questions later on in the video. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe if you're watching this video. We cover Canada, the United States, and the tropics during tropical weather season. If you are already a subscriber, all you got to do is press the thumbs up button. If you enjoy the forecast, give it a like and share it. Definitely appreciate that as well. Let's look here at the weather pattern over the next few days, because we have a disturbance moving across the central plains into the Midwest, mainly for Nebraska, South Dakota, and Iowa this evening, mainly bringing liquid precipitation because those temperatures are warmer. And then a bigger system out here into California, bringing more moisture on saturated soil. We've already seen 17 inches of rainfall outside the Los Angeles area, and more rainfall is continuing here this evening. Heavy snows in blue here across the Sierra Mountain Range. So the watershed out west is getting replenished, and as we go through the next few days, as we go into tomorrow in particular, a rain-snow mix is possible from La Crosse down here into Milwaukee, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and Detroit. Areas south of Lake Michigan into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, and West Virginia will mainly see liquid precipitation, so all rain. And that system that's in California slowly going to be pivoting further east as we go into Arizona on Tuesday. That could bring some healthy totals of rainfall there. And then going into Wednesday, that system is going to be crawling across the Four Corners region and eventually getting into the southern plains. And by Thursday evening, we could be seeing a low pressure developing somewhere in Kansas or northwestern Oklahoma. And south of that low pressure is where we have some instability. Thunderstorm activity will be possible and a low end threat for severe weather. I do feel a few severe storms with damaging winds, large hail, and an isolated tornado threat will be possible mainly Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, and into the overnight hours. I feel as we go into Friday, this system's not really going to get much stronger, so I think it's going to be more flattened out. So it's mainly going to be a rain system for the Ohio River Valley down here into the mid-Atlantic, and then another cutoff low pressure bringing yet again more moisture to Southern California heading into the upcoming weekend. So rainfall amounts between now and next Monday, a week from today, so over the next 7 days, we could be seeing another 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. And yes, this is on top of the 17 inches of rain we've already seen outside of Los Angeles, and then heavier rains pivoting their way through the southern plains, the Ohio, Tennessee River Valley going through the upcoming weekend. Rainfall amounts here, generally speaking, 1 to 3 inches, but there could be some pockets here of 4 to 5 inches of rainfall with any thunderstorms that do take place. Snowfall, well, it's going to be pretty mild across the east, so any snowfall we do see is going to be minor, and it's going to be very minor. We could be seeing some grassy surface accumulation, but I think as far as the pavement goes, the pavement temperatures are too warm, and simply I don't think it's going to stick much east of the Continental Divide. But I think across portions of the Sierras, that's where we could be picking up another foot or two of snow over the next 7 days. Otherwise, the main snow track is across Canada. Now, looking at the wind, it's going to be breezy with these systems moving through the Four Corners region and West Texas out here into the plains. Could be seeing wind gusts over 30, 40 miles per hour with this system through the week. Breezier conditions for the Northeast as well. Wind gusts here, especially along coastal areas and the open areas out here, could be around 40 miles per hour at times. In the middle of the country, I think our winds will be a lot lighter over the next few days. Now, looking here at our temperatures, we've alluded to how it is warmer than normal and keeping the snow in check here through the 24th of November. I do feel over the next 7 days it's going to be generally milder across the south, a little bit cooler in the northeast here in blue, also a little bit cooler over here in the desert southwest in California, Arizona in blue as well. for that 7-day average. So we look at those temperatures, and again, long-standing records are going to be broken as we go into your Tuesday, with more 80s ticketed as far north as Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, into portions of East Texas, even a couple 90s down here into southern Texas on Tuesday. Going into Wednesday, widespread across the Dixie Alley, more record highs in the 80s. Same thing on Thursday, Friday, and then once we hit the weekend, I think we cool our temperatures back to closer to seasonal averages, especially across the north as we go into the 40s. So looking here at the stratosphere, we've talked about this in several of my videos, new data coming in here. We do have the polar vortex becoming unstable. Now this is going to happen overnight, folks. I think this is going to take a process, but look as we go through the week ahead, you can see that the main lobe of the polar vortex is going to be over here in Asia, so over Russia. That's why Russia has seen a lot of snow and ice cover as of recent, because of the colder air, precipitation, and that means more frozen precipitation in the form of snow, sleet, freezing rain, whatever that may be over there in Russia. Now, as we go here into late November, notice how the polar vortex is going to split into two different parts. We have one part over here into Asia, again, over Russia, and then another part splitting off over toward the Hudson Bay in Canada, and both of these parts will work in tandem to bring A, cold air to Russia, and B, cold air to the United States here across the other part of the globe. And that's what we'll be watching as we go into the opening stages of December. To see it a little bit clearer, this is what we call a sudden stratospheric warming event, and this typically happens 1 to 2 times every 3 to 5 years or so. So it is uncommon to rare at times, and you can see that this is going to be warming the stratosphere as we go through the week ahead, and that means the cold air that is naturally above in the stratosphere will eventually trickle down into the Earth's surface in the troposphere where we live, and that will impact our weather across the United States locally and across the regional area of the North American continent. But as we go into late November, notice this big surge. You can almost see these maroon colors showing up. This is what we call an extreme sudden stratospheric warming event. This typically occurs on an average of about 5 to 6 year cycles. So this doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it could bring some very cold air to the United States. Let's look back here at October a month ago and notice in the ice cover, that is in the orange, the blue is the snow cover. We had quite a bit of ice cover near the Arctic Circle, Russia, the Koreas over here, and then over into portions of Greenland, northern Canada. Looking here at November today, look at how much more ice and snow cover there is. So once the polar vortex gets displaced or splits or whatever it may do, we actually are going to see the effects of that because of the snowpack. Colder air over snowpack enhances the cold air even further. So looking at the setup, the 500 millibar maps, this is the Euro ensemble mean heading into the Thanksgiving weekend through the 1st of December. We have a low pressure trough here across portions of the west and more particular into the Pacific Northwest. Big ridge spiking up to Alaska, up to the Arctic Circle. That would be your sudden stratospheric warming. You get a big ridge up there. That's going to send shots of cold air further to the south. You can see that, although to a weaker trend on the GFS ensemble mean. And even here on the Euro AI ensemble mean, it's a little bit different of an orientation, a little bit more elongated, but we'll figure that out as we get closer. But all three of these ensembles are showing this pattern showing up for Thanksgiving week. So as we go into Thanksgiving week, I believe we're going to see some colder air starting to funnel south from the Arctic into Western Canada. I think Western Canada, especially all the snowpack we've seen in British Columbia so far this winter season or fall season, that is going to play a big part in enhancing the cold. I think it'll still be cold in the west, but not overly cold. I think we're still going to be normal temperatures, I guess, to slightly below for this time of year. Now, as we go here into the first week of December, now it really starts to get cold there in Alaska and Western Canada, a little bit warmer in the central United States, but watch where it goes as we go into the second week of December. Kind of fades away a little bit. That would be phase one with a little bit of that warming we're showing you that's happening this week, and then that sudden stratospheric warming event takes place Thanksgiving week, and then that's going to push an even stronger brand of cold air and more widespread to the central and eastern U.S., just potentially in time for mid and late December, and this could be in time for the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, keeping a close eye on that. This could be a more dangerous brand of cold air. So I get it. It's winter. It's December. We're looking at the Christmas time frame. Yes, it's going to be cold, but this is why we advertise this, because this could be dangerous cold weather. So we're going to keep an eye on this. And we look here at the GFS extended control member and notice it's very similar. You see that one punch there of cold air. It's brief. And then as we go towards Christmas, this one's a little bit different. It actually has the colder air moving more toward Europe and Russia than it does toward North America. So there still are some differences here. We'll keep an eye on it as we go through the next week or so. But in general, all this cold air coming into place, whether it's 40 below zero or 30 degrees, whatever it may be, will still be suitable for some snow here across North America and especially across the north as we go through mid-December. Notice areas that you traditionally see snow in December. Northern Plains, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast, likely seeing it. The mountainous areas out west as well. But watch as we get that colder air to come in. And if it's more potent, that could bring the snow line way far south into the southern states of Texas, Arkansas, down across the Gulf Coast states, Carolinas, outside of the state of Florida. I think we're going to see potentially snowfall in most of the United States, at least a chance of it, going through New Year's Day. So that is the update I have for you with the new data coming in today. We'll break it all down for you again tomorrow, so make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on the post notification bell so you get notified for future videos, live streams I do on the channel. If you are already a subscriber, do me a favor, press the like button, a thumbs up. More likes we get, the more people that are watching this information and are aware of the colder air that is likely on the way and the snow tracks as we go into December. Again, plenty of time to watch it, but again, like the video, share it. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful, safe rest of your Monday out there.